Hello lovelies, and welcome back to, at long last, a new video. I'll tell you what, the week just gets away from me. Next thing you know, it's Friday night and I don't think I've posted anything this week. I am trying to do better. This video is probably going to go up in the early hours of Saturday morning, but I'm claiming it as Friday night's video in the hopes that I can get another video out this weekend. I like to do 3 videos a week. Hasn't been happening. Bare minimum at least 1. I'd like to aim for 2 on my bad week, so let's try and hold me to that. So this is a scrapbook layout I did. Oh, excuse me, croaky voice. I actually did this about a week ago. I fully intended to get it up on Monday. Didn't happen. And then I aimed for Wednesday. Didn't happen. So now it's going to be Friday's video. So this is a mixed media layout. I was using the new Flutterby Designs Parent of the Year collection. And I just love the colours and the phrases in that. And this is a photo from back in January when Will went to a holiday soccer clinic. And this was just one of the funny photos taken at the end of the clinic after the 3 days. And I just really liked it. So our soccer club colours are black, white and red. So that was what I drew inspiration from for this photo, for this layout. So I started with the pattern paper, one of the pattern papers I got in my design team kit, and then I've just put some black down as a matte so I could map my photo. And then I get some red paint and I just scribble it all over the place. I love doing this with the Flutterby paints because it works really, really well. At the moment, I'm going through the Parent of the Year collection die cuts, just pulling out what might work. And then I do layer my photo on some of the Everyday Etc. cards. With these cards, sometimes I struggle because they're 4x6. And as you know, a lot of my photos are 4x6. So layering can be difficult, but it has been good in the sense that it's gotten me out of my comfort zone to try and work on new layers, if that makes sense. New way to lay on my photos. And this layout ends up being one of them. So wait till you see what I did. I was quite happy with it. So I'm going through my paints, trying to figure out what I can do because, you know me, I just love to add more. So this is when I decide to go over, just dribble that little bottle all over it and end up with these really cool splatters. The only sucky part about this technique is you have to wait for it to dry. Drying naturally works better because you still get these really good lines. So I did leave that overnight to set basically. And I'm the most impatient scrapbooker on earth. I hate waiting for things to dry, but as a mixed media scrapbooker, it's just one of those things you have to get used to. So now I'm going through the cards. I'm going through the filler cards, which are the backgrounds. The Everyday Etc. cards have lots of quotes on them that I love to use as titles, but none of them really worked for this photo, but I really did want to use this collection. It was on my desk because I just finished my first design team post for it. So it was just sitting there, and you know, if it's on my desk, I'm going to use it. I'm much more likely to use it. So I went through the filler cards for my layers. So I pulled a few out. I do mess around with this for a while. And as always, what I first come up with is never how it ends up getting stuck down. I'm one of those people that will place something, but it'll never end up back in the same place when I take it off to glue it because, I don't know, my memory's crap or whatever. I can never get it back the same way. And I'm fairly certain I'm not one of the only ones. There are a lot of us out there. I know a lot of people take photos, but because I record on my phone, I don't have anything handy to snap a picture of it so I can put it back in the same order. But I'm still pretty happy with how it turned out. So even though it doesn't go back down the way I planned, it still looks all right. So I'm just going to do my layers. I did my layers while I was waiting for this to dry, knowing that I probably wouldn't be able to finish this in the same sitting because, yeah, I really did need to let that dry. I could have hit it with a heat gun, but it would have taken forever. And at the same time, if you really want that texture of that paint and those big blobbies that I love so much, it's just best to let it dry naturally. So that's what I did. So while I was in the mood, I think I had a little bit of time, and I think I was doing this just before I was heading out somewhere. I think I was heading to go get the boys from school. So I had limited time anyway, but I wanted to get as much of it done as I could. So I'm doing my layers. I'm just using my adhesive tape. It's one of my favorites. And yeah, I've matted it on some white copy paper. I don't use cardstock to mat my photos. I find it to be a waste of cardstock. So I just use good old copy paper, good old a ream of printer paper from Kmart. And I use that to give me that white matte, just to help that photo pop off that black background. And then I've got my layers behind it. So as you can see, I've layered all my cards down. I went for a very neutral one. So there's a navy or very dark blue and black and white basically. So on that white one, I doodled a little border with my paint pen just so you could see the difference in layers a little bit. So this is the next day now and it's all dry. And I can finally adhere my photo down right in the middle of that big mixed media mess, and then I'm going to work on embellishing. Now, when I do a very mixed media heavy layout, I tend to not embellish as much. So there's not really any embellishing on here except for the title. When I use the bits and pieces and die cuts and things for my titles, I tend to count that as embellishing. So it works for me. So I've just got this kids die cut that was there, and then also this really. I don't know if it works as a title, but I just liked it all together. So yeah, I went with it. But I did want to use some foam adhesive to make that really die cut pop from the top of the kids, so you could see there's a bit of dimension there. And yeah, I use craft foam, so just cheap craft foam. And it works really good to add a little bit of dimension. So I just cut up little bits of it, used my wet glue, and then just glued that down. So I really like how that turned out. I had one of these page tabs that I just put at the top of my layers as well. Literally, it was laying on my desk. I know it's orange and there's not really any orange on the layout, but I figured it worked anyway. So at this point, I was fairly certain I wasn't going to really add anything else embellishment-wise to the layout, but I did feel it needed something more. It was looking a little empty. So I decided, what a good opportunity to add some journaling. I really need to journal more on my layouts. I don't journal much. Heck, half the time I forget to add the date. But I thought some journaling on some white strips of cardstock. Again, sometimes I just use printer paper as well. But just adding my journaling on some white little strips I found really helped and just really completed the layout. And yeah, literally that's it. I did add a few little splatters in the corners with my paint when I had it out. But that's pretty much it. So it's a pretty simple layout, but one that I'm really happy with. And that photo really pops from that background. So I was really happy with how that worked out. So thank you for watching, and thank you for being so patient in my lack of videos the past few weeks. It's just had lots of happening this time of year. But I am hoping to get back in my art room. Soccer season's almost over, so my weekends will be mine again. So hopefully I can get some more scrapbooking and some more art done. So stay tuned for that. So thanks for watching. I'll be back real soon. Bye for now.